everybody, my name is Meadow. If you don't know who I am, then I am one of the Glam Squad members for this year for FC Singers. And today I'm going to be doing a SOS makeup tutorial. This is going to include your eyes and your base. And I know this video may seem scary because it's very long, but I have bookmarks so you can skip around to actually look at what you actually need. If you are a new member to FC Singers or to show choir, I recommend watching the whole thing and just putting it on 2x speed. But if you're a returning member and you want to just check up and make sure that your makeup is looking how we're going to be doing it this year, feel free to skip ahead to the eye part or to just the base part if you need tips on that. I hope you enjoy. Okay, now if you're seeing my forehead for the first time, don't look too hard. We're gonna be starting with our eyes because for me at least, eyes is the best part to start with, especially for this kind of makeup because we're doing a really dark eye and we don't wanna get that shadow all over our base. So if you're just here for the eyes, you can stay here now, but if not, check out the bookmarks to skip ahead to go see all the base tutorial stuff. To start out my eyes, I'm actually going to be using something most people kind of either don't realize they should be using or don't think is necessary or just surprised I'm using in general on my face, which is tape. So when it comes to doing your eye makeup, the reason why we do these super duper heavy bolded eye makeups is to make the whites of your eyes more visible to the audience and also to highlight your features. When you're dancing on a stage with super duper bright theatrical lights, people in the back of the audience are not going to be able to make out your nose or your cheeks or your eyes and things like that. Black heavy makeup highlights your eyes, makes them look bigger, and also makes it so they're more readable and visible from the stage. Now, when it comes to doing your black eye makeup, I recommend doing the tape method because you cannot realistically freehand the style that we're doing as clean as you can with a little bit of tape. So just doing the tape method is so much easier and there's no shame in doing it. If your eye shape does not work for a super angled shadow like this, you need to still attempt to do something similar because doing a rounded, completely rounded shape here is going to weigh down your eye more than letting it lift up like this. If you have questions personally of how to make your eye shape work for a method like this, feel free to DM one of your Glam Squad members because they will always be willing to help and will definitely have some tips for you on how to make something like this work more for your eye shape. But generally, most people should be doing this tape method to be able to get that nice sharp angle that'll open up your eyes.
Now this is where super cool voiceover me takes over. So I'm using one of my nude palettes and taking the black to carefully just brush on black along the bone that's in my eye. So you can feel that sort of ridge of your eyelid there. And I'm just swiping over it and then cleaning it up with a makeup wipe. It's pretty simple technique. I'm using a smaller brush as well to really clean it up. But I tend to like to leave that kind of top layer a little more blended, I guess, and a little less straight across, so you can see on this side better that I have left it kind of smoked out, and I'm just filling in that black until I think it's about as opaque as I want it to. Then we get that satisfying tape pull. Gags me every time. Now, do not judge the glitter. Do not judge the painter's tape. It is doing its job, and it's doing the best it can. Now, I'm going to be using the glitter and the glitter glue that they give us for SOS. That's not cute. Stop doing that. But you should be using whatever we give you, if possible. If you have to buy your own, though, please stay away from glitter or metallic shadows. Those are not going to do what a loose glitter like this will do. We need it to be shining on stage. So as you can see, I just carefully patted on all of the pigment and using a separate brush so it doesn't get everywhere. This is the key to making it look blended, which is adding a little bit of black shadow right on top of that line where we have the glitter versus the black shadow. Going in with mascara and eyeliner. Eyeliner is a bit of an extra step. I do it because I wear false lashes, so I kind of cover up all of that. And then I do my waterline and my mascara. Simple as that. And of course, you have to make the stupid face while you put on your bottom lashes. Yeah.
This is where I'd normally put on my false lashes, but I will be taking this off after this video, so I'm not gonna waste a pair of falsies and make them all gunky and gross. So, now the eyes are done, we're gonna move on to the base. I went ahead and just wiped down my face with the raggedy makeup remover wipe. So that way the glitter hopefully won't get in my base. That stuff contaminates everything. Now that we're moving on to base, your base routine may look different than mine, but a rule of thumb just to keep in mind is you never ever put your powders and then creams on top. Do not do that. I'm gonna do my base routine how I normally do. So if you're looking for just like a heavier duty base routine this year, feel free to follow this one. Or if you just wanna hear some tips and tricks that I do to make my makeup last for an entire show, this is the section for you.
After hearing that clip, I really sound like the before and after of Miley Cyrus. Like, I sound so sick right now. Anyway, I'm doing moisturizer. I'm basically just doing a base routine right now, and for every single person, that can be a little different. This is the primer I'm currently using, which is the basically discount Got to Be Glued by e.l.f., but I can't use that because it breaks me out like crazy. It also grosses me out. Gross. For shows like this that are in big stage lights, doing a foundation that is a little bit darker than your skin tone is always welcomed, because at the end of the day, there's a reason why these girls tan, and it's because it makes you look a little more alive on stage and you can be seen a little bit better and your features can be read a little better. This whole base routine is going to be about highlighting features and making things more seen, and even though I'm about to look like a baby slathered in peanut butter, it will all be worth it in the end. Hopefully. Now, what I'm trying to say here with my video charades is that you should not be using some sort of skin tint or light foundation. You should be using a heavy-duty foundation like L'Oreal or Maybelline. I don't know why I gave you the example of e.l.f., but we're going to move on. So now I'm going to go in with what essentially is the highlights and the shadows of your face. So your concealer and your contour. Concealer should be pretty light compared to your base, depending on the makeup or how your skin tone is. And your contour should be a cool tone compared to your base. So besides the gross hair that was in my base, this is my placement. And I go in blending the contour first and the concealer second. After I blend everything in, I like to go in with my foundation brush and kind of just do a little sweep over with whatever leftover product is in my foundation brush, because I find it gives it a nicer finish. And here's where I realized that all of my blushes exploded mid-making this video.
This video is going to end up being a crash out compilation of how many blushes have just exploded everywhere.
And this is where Past Me once again tried to telepathically tell you what to get. Do not do anything that is not high pigment. So what I just held up was high pigment. This is not high pigment. You need to do something that is aggressive and has a lot of color to it. So don't use something sheer, use something you can actually be seen. And use something that you can actually open. Because I spent 10 minutes trying to open this blush.
Dad? Or brother? Or sibling?
A little goes a long way with these blushes, and they're terrifying to use, but once you get them down, they're great. I'm going to blend that in, and then I'm going to go in with my powder.
This is going to be the key to getting your base to stay, is the powder you lock all this color in. Essentially what we're doing is we're making a base layer of color, locking it in, and then bringing that base layer back. Because as you can see now, everything's a little more diluted that I've used the powder, even if it's translucent. Now you may find a translucent powder every now and then that doesn't dilute it. Let me know when you do. Or you can use a powder that is actually your skin tone and that will also dilute it. And notice how I'm mostly concentrating this powder underneath my eyes and in my T-zone where I get really oily, and my nose where I tend to lose my product. Not so much my forehead, because the damage is done there. There's no saving it.
We aren't trying to be glowy models here. We're just trying to get this makeup to last and to stick. So I'm going to quickly wipe off my excess powder, and then I'm going in with a powder blush and a powder bronzer to kind of bring back some more of that color that I originally had and sculpt if I can. Here's my highlighter. I use very little. I am scared of highlighter. And then my brows. Do not ask me for a brow tutorial. I don't know how I do them. I just kind of guess and pray. I'm going in with a red lip liner. Feel free to use brown or black, but make sure the red lip is still the focus and you don't fill in too much.
Okay, now let's talk about the color of your red lipstick. Depending on your skin tone, you're gonna need a different red. We give everybody the optimal red of how we want the red to look. That does not mean that red's going to turn out like that on your skin, especially my girls of color. That red that we give you, which looks like this, I don't have it anymore because it does not work for my skin tone whatsoever, so I have a different one. But that red is the color we are shooting for you to have on your lips. However, as of the past few years, you can go a little darker than this now if you would like. But generally, when you look at this tube, you need to find a red that works for you that is in that color. So that might mean that this shade here, which you can see looks extremely pink in this light, might actually be your true red on you because of your skin tone. For example, for me, that's what that looks like on me. That is more of a true red than probably that would have given me because of my skin tone. Color theory. Wow. Quick recommendations though. These are two shades that I found have worked on most skin types to give you that red that we want. One of them is the Superstay in the shade 335 Hustler. And the other one is 50 Voyager. Who made these names?
This is what seals the deal, is that bold red lip. It's the signature, you have to have it. And you also have to have the struggle of getting any swatches from that Superstay lipstick off. And here is your finished look, a classic SOS staple.
Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to check out the description of either the YouTube channel or this video to find the Instagrams for me, as well as all the Glam Squad members for both FC Singers and High Voltage. Or if you're watching this in the future, feel free to DM whoever your Glam Squad members are for any of your questions. And I hope this helped you, and I hope you look amazing during SOS.